Street apologist. 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 On the radio. Street apologist. Street apologist. Street apologist. Street apologist. Street apologist.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Street Apologist Live. I'm your host, Vocab Malone. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, a little bit after 7 o'clock here in Phoenix, Arizona. Street Apologist is Urban Apologetics live streaming show where we look into the overlooked and serve the underserved. And sometimes that includes doing longer Bible studies. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Some of you guys like that. Some people don't. But I enjoy it. Whew. But while I'm getting ready, go ahead and hit that like button, please. Grab this link and share it. Give a shout out to Justice. Everybody say hi, Justice. Hi, Justice. They're saying hi. Hey, puppy. See? He's saying hi right back. And now we're going to hold on. You say it's, I don't like it that bright. I actually don't like it that bright. Let me get it a little bit more. I like some dramatic shadows on the face. Today has been a very busy day. Matter of fact, the past 2 days, if you guys are following what's going on social media, as far as, well, you know, the Street Apologist channels and then the social media for Vocab Malone. You saw that today I was on Dr. Michael Brown's show discussing Hebrew Israelites. You saw that yesterday after we did our live stream here on this channel, I went over to BK Apologist and did a show with them on the commit debate. Adam Coleman was there. That was dope. Then the day before, we put out the 5 reasons for the Jersey shooting video. That thing took 2.5 days to complete with me and David Wood working around the clock. I tell you, those kind of videos take a long time. They really take a long time. But God's good, so shout out to the live chat. Shout out to all y'all, K-Dub. Hey, everyone subscribe to K-Dub. Miss Titus too, how you doing? Oh, subscribe to her as well, actually. D-New, you've been busy today. I've seen you all over the internet past couple days. Aquavita, Hayden Tang, how you doing? Sweet Tea, see you at Doctrine for the Block, so I might as well make that announcement now. Sweet Tea's going to be there this year, as well as D-New, and I think Miss Titus too. This is the conference I am promoting. Urban Apologetics Conference, Phoenix style, coming up February 7th and 9th. All the information is right there on the flyer that I'm holding in my hands. If you live in Phoenix, I can get you some of these. One thing to note is the website. There was a mistake. See where it says rebornchurch.com? Instead of www, it should say the. What I mean by that is it should say therebornchurch.com/doctrine20. So if you're going to pre-register, which I highly recommend, do that. We want to appeal to millennials and the generation after them, so that's why it's less for youth. And then look at the speakers that are going to be there. Some of them you'll know, some of you got to trust me that they're good. You'll notice by the names, it's a diverse lineup. If you saw their pictures, you would see it's a diverse lineup. David Wood, Sam Shamoon, fantastic. A lot of folks have been on this channel, but you're also going to meet some new folks. And, of course, our own Carl Marquez, Lil C. And then Wednesday, we're going to have a pre-conference, and that's going to be real dope. And notice it's sponsored by Street Apologist Live. And there's some of the topics that are going to be covered. So this is going to be lit, as they say. Very excited about that. Shout out to everyone else in the live chat. Appreciate all your guys' hard work. I just want you guys to know we're getting into the Bible study. So if you got a Bible, you're able to get to it, please turn to Mark chapter 9. Mark chapter 9. If you don't have a Bible, try to get a hold of one. You know, try to get a hold of one so you can see what's up with it. Because we're gonna go through the text of verses 38 through 50. All right. I've already been, by God's grace, planning out some stuff for the new year. So I'll make some quick announcements about that. One is at our next hangout we do, which will be in early January. That's for the street team, so people who are supporters in some way. That inner circle of people who support and make this happen, right? We have monthly Patreon and Subscribestar and all that kind of stuff. Hangouts, we're going to do one early in January. And at that one, I'm going to unveil, I think, about 25 goals for this ministry in the new year of 2020. I think it's 20 or 25 goals. I got the list over there on the side of me. And we're going to pray over them and talk about them together. So that's going to be the big thing at our next hangout. And we'll tell some of the people some of the goals, but it will really just be the squad's, kind of deal. And that's what's going on early January. So that's going to be for 2020. Trying to cast some vision, as they say. Also, and we're going to get into this Bible study, but I got a few things to catch up on, everybody. We're going to be doing our monthly book study. We do a book a month here at Street Apologist by popular demand. And so I want to share with you, all right, the next book we're going to do, okay? So here I am going over here to a website called framepoithris.org. This is the website you're going to need to go to get our next book, which is free. Okay, it's a PDF and it's free from the authors. And the book is actually John Frame's Systematic Theology. We're going to be doing chapter 29. Not right now, everyone. We're going to be doing this. It's going to be God and our knowledge. So it's going to be theology and some philosophy. Epistemology. It's a massive, massive book, but it's got 240 pages that are excerpted as a sample there, okay? So you download that for free. Just look up John Frame Systematic Theology PDF. And I would need you to read chapter 29, okay, before December 30th, because December 30th is when we're going to do it, okay? And now with that being said, some of you guys have been going on Amazon and noticed that we have a ministry resource wish list. It's not called a wish list, but a ministry resource needs. There's the book digital format, okay? It's excerpted. Those are the chapters that are there, okay? So it's clearly not all of them. But they make this available, okay? And some of you guys have been already getting into it, meaning you've been buying some stuff and sending it to me for Merry Christmas, and I've been touched. So far, I've got the Egyptian Book of the Dead from the man named Breakfast Gun, and then today I got something from Phil Fox. I don't think Phil Fox is here. Let's see what this says. God bless Vocab. I do greatly appreciate your ministry. I have learned so much from your ministry. Thank you for your faithfulness, from Philip Fox. Now, he said I could open this today. So we're going to go ahead and open on air, and he'll have to watch this on the rewind. It was supposed to come in yesterday, he said, but it didn't quite. And the thing is, I don't even know how he saw this one, because this was on a list that was private, not public. But somehow he hacked my computer or something, and he got something. So let's see what it is. Seriously, this is from Phil Fox. Brand new Christmas gift. Beautiful. He said I could open it early, okay? I had it under the tree. Uh-oh, I'm going to get hate mail for that. Okay, so I opened it, and look what it is! What? It's the Frame Systematic Theology. It's the hardcover. It's all of it, though. Oh, my gosh, so beautiful. I do not have the hard copy. All I have is a digital excerpt. All right? So this is the book we're doing Friday, all right? John Frame is I know I have a lot of favorites, okay? John Frame is my favorite overall theologian, philosopher, apologist. This book is massive. Look at this. Smells good. I love the smell of new books. Watch this, watch this. It's crazy when you can do that with a book. So this is the book. Thank you, Mr. Phil Fox. So we're only going to be doing chapter 29 in this, okay? Out of the Systematic Theology. This is a newer systematic. Frame's kind of life work, man. I need to interview him. Someone reach out to John Frame and let's get him on the show. Give me his contact information. Yeah, so part 5, the Doctrine of the Knowledge of God, chapter 29. It's on page 697 in this book. That's what we're going to be going over. So again, we do a book club. I need you guys to grab this free PDF right now from the website, and you'll have this chapter too. You won't have a hard copy like I do. But we're going to go over this chapter, okay? Very excited about this. God is good, no joke. We need resources. You know? Yeah, you could kill a cockroach with that one. All right. So let's see. Again, shout out to Phil Fox, man. That's my homie right there. Yeah, thank you for dropping that link for that PDF, everybody. Appreciate that, guys. All right. Hey, this is great, Hayden Tang. You're only 18, 19 years old. And he says, vocab, you, David John Ravi, have inspired me to help out my church so I can start up apologetic courses in my community. That's beautiful. And you know what? D New has done that. K-Dub's done that. I don't know if Nate's done it, but he definitely could. Carm's done it. So there's a lot of people who have done that as well. So it's excellent. Okay. Now, there's one other thing. I don't remember what it is right now exactly, but let me just say this. Let me tell you what's going on the rest of the week on the channel. Wednesday, I'm putting on my channel the video that David had access to, the Acts 17 Apologetics, YouTube, where it's me explaining the Jersey City shooting. We're gonna premiere that on the channel. Put a little intro and outro on it. It's essentially the same though, but it's good to watch it in a premiere format like that. Then also, we've got some videos that John and David I did together. One on why we're apologists. Another one on I can't remember. I'm going to have to look on the website. Let's look real quick on the website together, guys, because I want you guys to be aware what's going on, because there's a lot happening on the channel, you know? Like a lot, right? Okay, let's look here. Let's look and see what are the videos coming up here. So that's tomorrow. There's the one I mentioned coming on the 21st. Oh yeah, the Thanks Atheism one. That one's pretty funny. That was David's skit. That was his idea. That's on the 20th. And then Yeah Science or Thanks Science. That was John's idea. We did that together. So these are classics right here. And they never premiered on the channel. They got brand new cover images, thumbnails. And so you definitely want to be there for these premieres. The 20th, the 19th. Look at the times. I try to do them around 7, but that doesn't always work. So sometimes they're at different times. But you can see them right there, guys. And then that takes us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Remember I said I was going to do Merry Vlogmas, where to put up a video every single day here in Christmas, okay? And so I am. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that... Ooh, let me switch this over here. Is that... let's see. I'm going to switch this to Logos. Is it on the 21st? Oh, yeah, I'm going live Sunday night. That's the other thing you need to know what's going on, okay? Going live Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm getting this set up here, people. I'm going to take this out. Put this over here. Now we're in Logos. You guys know it's a great time to buy Logos. And you know that if you use the discount code from the show, you get a discount. And the information for that is right on the screen. If you look on the bottom and the top, you'll see that information there, okay? So I'm going to make my profile, whatever it is, a little smaller here. Try to get it in a nice centered spot. All right, put it right about there. And because we are about to begin this Bible study, everybody. So we are in Mark chapter 9, verses 38 through 50 here. And there's some fantastic stuff here. If you want to find out what happened a little bit before this, we did one that was called Jesus is greater than the demons or something like that, or greater than the devil. And that was on our earlier section of Mark chapter 9. I discussed some stuff about exorcism and things like that. It was fascinating. And so now here we are looking at this, okay? And I hope everyone's there, because we are going to begin. What's up, Brian? I got your email today. Appreciate that, bro. By the way. Okay. Let me get my notes up here. Notes. Come on, man. Don't be acting funny on me. Stuff's never easy, you know, with technology. Okay. Here is God's word, beginning Mark chapter 9, verses 38 through 50. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to go back and look at it, okay? So I'm just going to read to you right now from the screen, all right? Does that sound good? Okay. John said to him, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name. We tried to stop him because he was not following us." But Jesus said, "Do not stop him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able soon afterward to speak evil of me. For the one who is not against us is for us. For truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ will by no means lose his reward. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. And if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life crippled than with 2 hands to go to hell, to the unquenchable fire. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life lame than with 2 feet to be thrown into hell. And if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than with 2 eyes to be thrown into hell, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how will you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another." Amen. God's word. All right. So I'm reading from the ESV here. It's okay if you have a different translation. All right. And I'm going to try to look at some of your comments over here, everybody. Hey, what's up, Warrior Woman? How you doing? Warrior Woman? How you doing, Benjamin? Good to see you as well. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, my brother, we're not looking at that today. I see Jesse, wants me to look at a particular passage. I really can't today. But how you doing, Hafsa? How you doing? I am Mr. Brightside. How you doing, Andrea? All right. So let's take a look at this here. If I was going to preach a sermon on this, I would call it No Neutrality. No Neutrality. That's what I would call it. And you're going to see that concept here. Obviously, that's not the only thing we're going to see in here. There's a lot here. A lot of parts of God's word are challenging, and I would just say that this is one of them. There's some challenging interpretive issues, but by God's grace, do my best, and I'll be blessed by this, all right? So starting right away here, notice that this is the Gospel of Mark, and usually Peter is seen primary in the Gospel of Mark. Almost certainly Peter was the source behind Mark's Gospel. There's internal literary clues that let us know that, as well as extra-biblical historical sources, tradition that let us know that. So I think that's about right. However, it's not Peter speaking here, it's John. This is John the disciple, right? John the apostle, John the revelator, okay? And look what he says. Teacher. So there's that rabbi theme. This is John talking. And we know when John was a younger man, he's the son of Zebedee with his brother. He was called the sons of thunder because they wanted to bring down thunder from heaven and destroy whole cities and towns. That's John the younger man. And you can see a little bit of that feistiness here because watch what he says. Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name. So notice, John is saying this person was casting out demons. That means the exorcism was successful. Then he also says, in your name. That means with your power and authority. So just stop right there. Now, I want everyone to remember last time we were in the book of Mark together? We were in Mark chapter 9. Does everybody remember what happened? What were the disciples trying to do with the epileptic boy, but could not do it? And Jesus had to do it, and he said, this kind comes out only by prayer. Live chat, I want to look at you. You guys tell me, what happened? Oh, Mr. Phil Fox, you missed it. I opened your gift. I opened it live on the air, brother. That was epic, man. Everybody, I have to tell you, we'll go back and rewind. It's got the wrapping paper and everything, man. Seriously, it was epic. I read the letter and everything. Does anybody remember what the disciples tried to do but were not able to do? Does anybody remember that? I'm trying to give you some time to see if you remember. I'm looking at the live chat. You guys are being all social. You're not answering my question. Yes, thank you, warrior woman. She's exactly right. They could not cast out the demon from the epileptic boy. Now, does anyone else note the irony here? You're going to note it when we go to the next section. So here's someone not with them who is successfully casting out demons in Jesus' name. Thank you. Yes, Orion got it. Connor got it. Excellent, excellent. Watch this, everybody. Listen to what John says next. Just say you didn't know this next part of the sentence. What would you think is going to be said? Maybe like, we congratulated him. We said good job, something like that, right? Nope. Not these guys. Hey, Mark of Glass, welcome to your first Street Apologist live stream. My name is Vocab. We're doing a live stream Bible study right now. The next time we go live is Sunday night, my brother or sister, not sure, Mark of Glass. No, John says, and we tried to stop him because he was not following us. Oh, these guys are so human, aren't they? So human. Aren't they so human? Yeah, they are. We tried to stop him. Why would they try to stop him? Notice also that they couldn't stop him. We tried to stop him. But what an odd thing. The disciples are pretty much like, hey, let that boy sit and fester with that demon. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and let that boy have that demon. Let's stop this from going on. Isn't that bizarre? Mr. Phil Fox, thank you for the super chat so much. You say Vocab and the Street Squad and the Mod Squad and the whole family, blessed, gracious, and Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, brother. For real, man. I mean, really a major blessing. This book and the super chat, everything is just major, major blessing. Seriously. But look at this, guys. Why would they try to do that? Well, the answer is right here. Notice it says casting out demons in your name. That means they are with Jesus and this exorcist. So this is an authentic exorcist. He's not a fraud, this exorcist. Here's the reason. Because he was not following us. Well, hold on, John. Shouldn't this person be following Jesus? Do you guys catch that? This is the disciples' mentality, is our mentality. Hey, I saw this church doing something really good, but I was hating on them because they were not part of my church. Hey, I saw this guy who was part of a different denomination than I was, but I was hating on it because he was not part of my denomination. That's the kind of stuff we do. And sometimes we don't just hate on them, we actually try to stop them. This is a real thing Christians do to each other. Try to stop somebody else who is with Christ, successful in what they're doing, but, they're not following us. What's John's mistake here? Yeah, I like you, Ryan. Ryan's admitting I've done that before. Hey, we've all done that before. That's why I like the disciples. The disciples are us. We are them. Certainly they're real people. I'm not saying they're not. But I'm saying they're so human. If you notice, in a lot of sacred literature, the disciples or whoever of the, like kind of like the religious kind of people, they're presented in a certain kind of light a lot of times. My point is, if you look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, isn't it interesting that they do not present themselves whitewashed? They show their flaws and their errors. Shout out to Judah the Lion. Shout out to you, bro. You know what I mean? It's not hidden. This is actually an apologetic point, is the way that they're cast, warts and all, in the pages of the gospel. Jesus is the one that the focus is upon, not the disciples. They're constantly messing up from big to small. And here's one more example. Because he was not following you? Oh, no, because he was not following us. Their focus isn't even right. Not supposed to be getting disciples after themselves. It's supposed to be after Jesus. If they would have said because he was not following you, Jesus, then they would have a case. But then how is he casting out demons in Jesus' name if he's not following him? See what I'm saying? And Jesus always knows what to say. But Jesus said, do not stop him. So why'd you do that? Don't do that again. And now he's going to give the reason why. For no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able soon afterward to speak evil of me. It's saying that this is somebody we should view as an ally. This is not somebody we should view as an enemy. Now I'm going to stop here and say that we do this, yes, see people admitting it, but you know what? The disciples weren't the only, first century Galileans, Jewish men running around who did this. Back then, Jewish groups would break away from one another over things that could be considered trivial. For example, we have some evidence of Jewish groups in the first century breaking away from each other over the correct day of the Passover. So they would both agree you should celebrate the Passover, but then they would disagree about when to celebrate it. And so they would break off from each other. So it's easy to get sectarian. You know what I mean? And this is what happens. No. Let me, here. That's good. I see Nudist King, interesting name, saying, sorry, vocab, you're reading too much into the text. Let me show you what I'm doing with verses 38 and 39, because I'm certainly not reading too much into the text. What I'm doing is 2 for 1. I'm doing exegesis based on the context. So notice how I just brought up first century evidence from other Jewish groups, what they would do. And then in the same verse, I'm making application. So this is exegesis with the practical application right after it. God's word is always practical. And so there needs to be ways we always show what it means we should do right now. And so what I'm doing is applying what we're seeing here, because this is a narrative, but it's designed to teach. And so what do we learn from this? So that's what I'm doing, is applying it. That's what's going. And so now we see Jesus said, do not stop him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able soon afterward to speak evil of me. This is a friend, not a foe, right? Now, this is interesting because I'm going to show you guys something. I don't know if you remember this account or not, but let me show you something that happened in the book of Acts. Acts 19:13. Then some of the itinerant Jewish exorcists undertook to invoke the name of the Lord Jesus over those who had evil spirits. Notice, these aren't disciples of Christ. These aren't believers in Jesus. These are Jewish exorcists. I told you earlier in our other Bible study that there were Jewish exorcists, right? And what it's saying is they're trying to use Jesus almost like a magic spell or incantation. We actually have evidence of people trying to use Jesus' name as a magic spell on some early pottery. Okay? People thought, oh, there's power in this name. But that's not how it works, because it's not just merely invoking the name like some kind of magic spell. It means under the authority and power, okay? And now look what it says they said. I adjure you by the Jesus whom Paul proclaims. Notice that they don't know. They don't know Jesus. They're saying from who Paul proclaims. 7 sons of a Jewish high priest named Sceva were doing this. So it tells you who they were. 7 dudes here. Watch this. It's kind of funny in a way. But the evil spirit answered them, Jesus I know, and Paul I recognize. But who are you? Oh man, these evil spirits got some attitude, don't they? These evil spirits, they got some salt, man. These evil spirits, they got some flair. You know what I mean? A little sassy evil spirit. Jesus, I know, and Paul I recognize. But who are you? And the man in whom was the evil spirit leaped on them. This is like some Incredible Hulk type stuff. Mastered all of them. Ooh, that's tough right there. And overpowered them so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. This evil spirit is extra. Because I could see, beating them all up. You know what I mean? Because you got superpowers basically from the devil. You know what I mean? Like that dude who kept breaking the chains, the demoniac who had legion in him, right? Breaking them chains, no chains hold him. That's the kind of powers he got, But why has he got to send him out of the house naked? He didn't just beat him up. He stripped him. Like utter embarrassment. You know what I mean? This is like this is some bugged out stuff. Because if you think about it, that evil spirit was like, I'm not going to beat these dudes up. Remember, it's 7. So this is 7-on-1, right? That's gas station numbers. You know what I'm talking about? Gas pump numbers. I'll take 7-on-1. This is 7-on-1 gas pump numbers, right? And this evil spirit's like, I could just beat these dudes up. I'm a strip them naked, send them out of the house naked. Oh, man. Anyways, man. It's no joke. That's why you can't believe those Hollywood movies. Now, back to the book of... Fred... Hey! Oh! Someone give Fred Sanford a medal. He says he was the real nudist king. Yo, that dude's got some... Oh, that's classic, man. You guys get the joke? He was the real nudist king. Because that dude's user handle who was telling me I wasn't exegeting properly, his name was Nudist King. Oh, man. That was... You know what that's called in comedy? That's called a callback. So you get all the love. You won the internet today, bro. You just won the internet. He was a real nudist king. Oh, man. Hey, Michelle Marie, how you doing? How you doing, sis? Hey, you guys are something else. Woo! Oh, man. All right, so... Oh, wait. How did I get over there? I went to last time we did the live study. I lost my place in Mark. Here we go, though. All right. Verse 40. Okay? Jesus continues to explain. For the one who is not against us is for us. For the one who is not against us is for us. For truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ will by no means lose his reward. That's why I would call this no neutrality. No neutrality, right? That's why I would call it that. No neutrality. There is no neutrality when it comes to Jesus. Now, I think it behooves us to make sure that we put this statement together for the one who is for us. For the one who is not against us is for us, with something I believe. Let me see if my memory is right on this. I'm going to give it a shot here. Matthew 12:30. Yes, excellent. All right. I think it behooves us to put that statement together. Jesus just made a mark with this in Matthew 12:30. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. These are two different ways for Jesus to say there is no neutrality in regards to who I am. And K-Dub and another brother, I think it was Corinth, pointed out it sounds very presuppositional. Well, ultimately, I do agree. Jesus is Lord over philosophy, theology, all areas of human knowledge and wisdom. He is the Lord of apologetics. Yeah, that's right. That's who he is. He's the Lord of the law of non-contradiction. You know what I'm saying? There's a great article by that title, by Anderson. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. So the essence of this is no neutrality. Now, with that being said, just taking Mark for what it says, because I think we do need to put both together, I think we, at the same time, understand that Jesus is saying, hey, these folks are allies, okay? And then Jesus kind of talks about the larger community. Now, before we do that, though, I want to point out something to you in Mark 9:40. I did some looking into this, and it appears from what I'm able to gather, this saying, for the one who is not against us is for us, is some kind of Roman proverb. And it appears we have some kind of evidence of Cicero. Cicero is a 1st century BC Roman author, saying something like this. Now, can we prove that Jesus was aware of it or something like that? No, I think he was, though. I think he was, most likely. I'm going to look more into this, okay? But from what I've been able to see, right, it looks like this is kind of a proverb that went around that several Roman writers used for the one who is not against us for us. And Jesus co-opts it here. So he's repurposing this proverb that we see Cicero write something very similar and saying, hey, that guy casting out demons, he is with us. He's not against us. You guys did the wrong thing. He's correcting his disciples. And it's probably because they were jealous too, you know? And now Jesus goes on and talks greater about this. Now, some people say, I don't know, I'm going to show you this real quick before I go to the next verse. Some people say that this argument here is similar to Paul's argument in Philippians 1:17. I don't know for sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Some people say that. I don't know yet. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think, okay? I'm just going to read it and you tell me what you think. The former proclaimed Christ out of selfish ambition, not sincerely, but thinking to afflict me in my imprisonment. What then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed, and in that I rejoice. See, because this guy is authentic, this exorcist, and he's doing it in the name of Jesus. Here, these folks have ill intentions. But the similarity in the argument is Paul is saying, you know, either way, we should rejoice, even if it's not from our squad, our camp, directly, that Christ is being proclaimed. One time I had a friend, though, this is kind of off over here, going a little bit over here, right? Luke, I would say that I hold to the London Baptist 1689. It's an interesting way to word your question. Hey, vocab, you claim to be Reformed. Do you hold to a confession? If so, which one? That's interesting way to word the question. But yeah, it would be 1689. However, I know some 1689ers who say I don't fit in. And if I don't, that's okay, because I could still do the so-called original Catholic or universal creeds. Huh. Interesting, Benjamin. I don't want to be downgraded. Anyways, so I had one person defend the prosperity gospel using this verse. I'm going on a little rabbit trail here, where they said, well, hey, Paul rejoiced that either way the gospel was proclaimed. And I said, you know, I think Paul knew the content of these other people preaching. And he's saying it's still the gospel. He's saying their motivations, whatever, but the message is legit, right? And I said that prosperity gospel is not the gospel. You know what I mean? And so I don't think it's accurate to say, you know what I mean, that the prosperity gospel can be defended with this verse. I don't think that's right, because they are preaching the gospel here. Notice, they are proclaiming the gospel. Then they're proclaiming Christ, not money cometh. Money cometh, right? That's not what they're doing. You know what I mean? Get ready. That's T.D. Jakes. All right, so with that being said, coming back over here. All right. I still think we need to make this point, no neutral ground regarding Jesus Christ. Now, what Jesus, I think, is partially saying here, too, and I think we could apply it this way, is stay on target. I know the new Star Wars is coming out on the 20th this Thursday. It's not going to be classic, but I'm going to try to enjoy the good parts that I can and just close my eyes during the bad parts, you know what I mean? Try not to let it ruin, you know what I mean? Realize it's just a fictional movie and none of it happened anyway. But my point is, in the 1977 A New Hope Star Wars, remember when they're doing the final trench run on the Death Star? And there's one guy who's down there, and he's like complaining about the Imperial fighters and the guns and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And he's like over the radio. You know, he's an X-wing fighter. He's over the radio telling everybody what's going on, whatever. And the guy behind him, like the boss, keeps on saying, "Stay on target, stay on target, stay on target, stay on target." I had a friend in middle school named Jeremy McMahon. Shout out to Jeremy. And when I told him I like Star Wars, he just started saying, "Stay on target," because he didn't really know Star Wars. He hadn't seen it in a while. But when I told him I like Star Wars in middle school, this dude, the first thing he just said to me was, "Stay on target." And the funny thing is, I like Star Wars, but I didn't know what he was talking about. So I was like, what's that from? And he told me, and I was like, oh, yeah. And the next time I watched the movie, I laughed because the way he did it. Now, it wasn't Porkins, although Jeremy McMahon, God bless his soul, did look like Porkins. And then some, brother. That's my man, though. So, the way he said it, though, was so funny to me, and I never forgot it. My point by saying all that is this. Okay. Hey, shout out to Sahi Luke. All right. My point, though, is saying this. Jesus is saying, "Stay on target. Stay on target." Ham Sunshine apparently knows the some of the Star Wars dialogue. So does Connor. I like you guys. That's good. Negative. Just impacted on the surface. It was a Dorara Sorob. All right, so the point is, Jesus is saying, "Stay on target. Stay on target." And maybe, Ryan, you can really hear the dog snoring? That's crazy. He is loud here. I didn't realize he was that loud. Hey, be quiet. Justice, you're loud. Everybody can hear you, bro. That's bugged out. You can hear him. Wow. Judah the Lion. When I say Catholic, I mean it with a lowercase c, which simply means universal, not Roman Catholic. It's a word that is used in different ways. To understand church history, you've got to understand the use of Catholic with a lowercase c. That's a technical term I was employing there. That's why I was getting off. I don't want to talk about confessions and stuff right now. It's not really relevant to what we're talking about right now. So let me come back here. All right, so Jesus is saying stay on target, let God sort them out, basically, right? Now, here's what's interesting with that. Is this. I remember when I was a kid, kids used to wear these crazy shirts. They were all BA. We thought they were all dope back in the day, right? It would have like some Green Beret or Ranger. I forgot who it is. Yeah, Liza J. I have watched American Gospel. It's an amazing movie. We watched it at church. It was beautiful. They would have these crazy shirts with it would be like a black Army Ranger hat or something. I don't remember exactly. Maybe a Green Beret, one of those. And then like a skull with like 2 M60 machine guns with the ammo belts coming down, and it would say, "Kill them all, let God sort them out," which apparently was some kind of saying, I guess they might have said in Vietnam, which is not really cool if you think about it. It's like saying, "Be damned, civilian casualties," basically, or something like that. I mean, you could take it that way. Forget about, you know what I mean, something like that. All right. So with all that being said, we see here, "For the one who is not against us is for us. For truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ will by no means lose his reward." So what's going on there? I think we can see a few things here. One is that it's a practical application. Guess what, guys? God notices and rewards even the smallest of your deeds. Truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ. Notice, this is someone showing hospitality because you're a Christian or a believer. It's beautiful. That's a small thing. It gives you a cup of water to drink. Not having a cup of water to drink in the ancient world would be like an extreme sign of poverty. Even then, obviously, really any time. But you see that Jesus is pointing out something small. And this action would reflect a level of faith and hospitality that a lot of times only students would show to one they respect, like their teachers or their rabbis. I'll get you this, I'll get you that. Let me serve you this way, with this way. Jesus is saying we should all be like that with each other, and that God rewards that kind of treatment to each other. Seriously. Hey. Only Rice, thank you for the super chat. Vocab, much love from New Zealand. Can you tell me the brand model of your glasses frames? I got to upgrade my look. Yours look good. Thank you. Well, thank you. I don't know. I'll have to look on Amazon when I order them. There's no names on this. By the way, they were super cheap. I don't know. There's no name on these. I'm so sorry. These aren't brand name. They were cheap. I bought them on Amazon, and I just like the way they look. I'm sorry. I'll try to look on Amazon and figure it out. Actually, I don't know. Hey, Saint Denis, how you doing? Or Saint Dennis. All right, so that's an encouraging thing, isn't it? Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. Whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ will by no means lose the reward. Now, in this next section, Jesus is going to show that not only does he reward and notice the smallest of deed, but he also notices the smallest of people. Because back then, children were almost viewed basically as property rather than having the status as actual people in a way. You know what I mean? But here we see that Jesus is going to do away with that. And so what he's talking about is sort of what this community should look like. This lack of the disciples' understanding gave Jesus a perfect opportunity to discuss this. So it's almost like Jesus is like, the disciples are saying, hey, these guys aren't disciples, so we try to stop them. Jesus is like, hey, yeah, they are disciples. Let me tell you about discipleship and discipleship community. You know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that. All right? So check this out. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to great millstone hung around his neck and be thrown in the sea. Verse 42. Let's look at verse 42. Little ones. It's a Greek word, mikron. Little ones is mikron. See right there? Little ones. Yep. It's insignificant ones per the world's standards who would lack importance, influence, power. It refers here, according to 937, children. Let me show you back. See this? See? 937 and then 936. He took a child and put him in the midst of him. Now, a lot of people think this is Peter's son or Peter's child because they're in Capernaum, they're at the house, and it seems like Peter's house is the base of operations. So there's some tradition that says this son was Peter's son. We don't know. We don't know about that. I think that'd be interesting and fascinating. I think it'd be kind of cool. You know, he's using Peter's son as a sermon illustration. And I love this. Jesus took him in his arms. Now, that's not today's passage or text, but I did want to draw that out because I think that shows how this is connected. Because you may be reading this and be like, why is Jesus bringing up children? Well, it's like when you be like, you've done this before where you're talking and you're like, hey, remember earlier in the conversation when I said that? Jesus is in essence doing this right here, right? Whoever causes one of these little ones, mikron, children, to believe in me to sin. Now, let's stop and look at that. I think Jesus is clearly talking about children, but I think because he's talking about discipleship, I do think, a shout out to Believing Thinkers for the super chat. Everybody subscribe to that channel as well. Definitely subscribe to Believing Thinkers. I think we can understand, right? I think we can understand that what's happening here, okay, is that Jesus is using the child as a stand-in for a disciple. There's a good thing in certain places. But I also think we could see that this disciple could be someone who's young in the faith. A child, by definition, in essence, is young in the faith. You see what I'm saying? They're young in the faith. They are young in the faith. They're young in their understanding. But I also think that we can look at this and see those who are young in the faith, not just little children. I don't think that's too much of a stretch. If you do, that's okay. Just apply it to children only. But I think it's like, if you cause somebody who's young in the faith to sin, that's what Jesus, I think, is ultimately saying here. Starting with children, okay? By the way, I think there's the opposite of this, the positive side of this, meaning if you help those who are young in the faith, especially children, not to sin, you get a great reward. So to you children church teachers, to you people who lead Bible studies, right, for children, to those who do Sidewalk Sunday School, if you guys know about that kind of stuff, to those who go out to the block and do Bible studies in homes and there's kids present, to those of you who do Bible studies with your own children or your family's children, or lead the family Bible study Christmas and there's children present, all that kind of stuff. This is the chance for you to go in. It's not secondary, the ministry of ministering to children, people, and especially also extending the metaphor out. I think extending the picture out, however you want to say it. I think that we can also say it really is important to disciple young believers, and it's a big responsibility, isn't it? Because to sin. It's saying you would be aiding and abetting them in the process of sinning. The word sin here literally means to cause to stumble or to fall. It can even mean entice, trap, or lead. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? We should be discipleship makers. And guess what? Children are not saved just because they're children. They need to be evangelized as well. And when they save, they need to be discipled. Do I always do a perfect job on that? No. But you know what? I'm encouraged when I see good things happen. Children growing up in the Lord and learning. And it's just a beautiful thing to be part of. And you guys can attest to that if you've done it, right? Look, this means do not lead them into unbelief. Don't cause them to transgress God's laws. It's bad if you do. You know, I think people who raise their children in cults especially got to watch out for this kind of stuff. Really unbelieving parents in general, but man, let me show you something here. I'm going to go off just a little bit here. I don't want to just point the finger out because I think it's very important for us to point the finger at ourselves. Okay? But I do want to do this a little bit, okay? Yeah, let's take a look at this. The magic of reality. What is the magic of reality, you may ask? Well, let me show you here. Let me bring it up. The magic of reality, ladies and gentlemen, is Richard Dawkins' book. Wait, is this it? I think this is it. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta make sure that's it. Hold on, I'm trying to show you guys something. Yeah. Okay, the magic of reality. I'm gonna look at here, the creation.com article. I'm taking a little. I knew I was gonna do this. Okay, this is planned, by the way. I'm gonna go to creation.com because I like that ministry. October 30th, 2018. Richard Dawkins is making the news again. He's unveiled his plans to publish another book aimed at promoting atheism to children. He's done this before with The Magic of Reality. By the way, so this is a different book. The descriptions of his book are bizarre, underscoring the puerile, petty, and intentionally blasphemous nature of his contents. It's said to include gory depictions of biblical sacrifices and even of Jesus committing a murder. Wow, okay. I didn't. To anyone remotely educated in the Bible, have you guys heard about this, by the way? The question of why Dawkins would even think of depicting the sinless Savior of humanity committing murder beyond the obvious aforementioned desire to blasphemy is a real head-scratcher. Okay, does it say what the title of the book is? What is the title of the book? What's the title of the book? Because I heard, man. Is that it? No, that's not it. I thought it's already been released, and now I cannot. Oh, there we go. We need to see this. There. All right, we need to see the Dawkins children's book. Okay, so apparently he's done it before, but where did it go? Where'd the article just go? Oh, it's available for pre-order. 2011. Well, anyways, I thought there was a second book, but either way, The Magic of Reality is a children's book on atheism. But I thought the other one was already out. Let me see here. You know what? Let me. I'm looking for this last thing because now I'm curious about which one it is. I remember him talking about this. My dumb search. I now sometimes you get frustrated and you want to find something. And so you just keep on. Is this it? Oh, yeah. That's it. Finally, I found it. I knew it'd be worth it. Okay, I found it. It's called Outgrowing God. Jeez, finally. Okay. It's called Outgrowing God. Okay, so here's So I don't know who this guy is. Oh, he's a Christian. Oh, he's from Trinity College, Cambridge, a reader at Tyndale House. Hey, anyone from Tyndale House is good stuff. So I haven't heard of this guy before, George Heath Wythe, but if he's involved with Tyndale House, then he's legit. Yeah, it looks like this is a legit guy. Okay, so this is something. If you want to find this, this is something I would look at. I would look at his review. I knew I was going to eventually find it. Okay, so I'm glad we did that. I think it's important. I think it's important to kind of check this out. Okay, so outgrowing God. My point is, I think we need to apply this to ourselves first. Because it's easy to point the finger at the atheists. I don't like, though, to immediately do that because I don't think that helps us. But I also think it's important to bring that into play. And I think this scripture applies to someone like Dawkins writing something like this. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Outgrowing God, A Beginner's Guide. It's a book for children about basically how to become atheists. Like that's what Dawkins is doing in his twilight years. Like seriously, bro? That's what you're going to do? The answer is yes, that is what he's going to do. So we finally found it. Okay. Anyways, so we could see the man's review if we wanted to. I think that was important to do. Okay, sorry about that little rabbit trail. I knew I was going to do that. I just didn't realize it was going to take as long as that. But I knew I was going to do that. And so there, you guys can see my notes there. Okay. Now, back to Mark chapter 9. All right, back to Mark chapter 9. And let me see, do you guys make any comments? Well, look at the comments. Wait, am I buffering? Thanks, Nate. Hey, thank you, Connor. Thank you for the super chat. He says, thank you for the study and emphasizing discipleship. Praise God. Yep, you're right. It is a continuous process. Fred, I'm going to ship a millstone to Dawkins. Well, let's talk about the millstone. All right, let's talk about the millstone. So, he says a heavy millstone. Milos anikos. Milos anikos. Milos anikos. This is a large millstone, like the kind that would be basically driven by a donkey. So there's smaller ones, right? That a lot of times maybe a female would carry around. You know what I mean? But this is a larger one where you need a donkey strength to be able to get her. Okay, and I obviously am not a farm person. I'm a city boy all the way, right? But I read about stuff. Okay, so I guess the way it would work is that when you want to turn grain into flour, okay, there's a process involved in this. You got to grind the grain between two flat stones. There's an upper one and a lower one, and they're usually of different sizes, I think, to an extent. And some were small, as I mentioned, but this is a larger one that would need a donkey strength to get it around. So this large upper stone is so heavy, had to be turned by a donkey. I think you can see more about that in Matthew 18:6. Jesus is saying, if you live, right? If you live in a way where you're leading little ones astray, it'd be better for you to have a millstone hung around your neck, thrown in the sea. Kind of like, remember the saying they used to have back in the day, the Mafia would say, where Jimmy Hoffa? Where's Jimmy Hoffa? Where did he go? What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? And remember they said, he sleeps with the fishes. And the idea was that they put your feet in concrete that was still drying, and they would dry the concrete around your feet, hold you in it, force you to be in the concrete, and then hold your feet inside the concrete so your feet are literally stuck inside the concrete, and then they would throw you in the water. Some people postulated that that's what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. That's debated, whatever, but the point is, Jesus is saying this kind of thing should be done to you. Someone asked, is that where Millstone got their name from? Great Millstone, the Hebrew Israelite camp. No, but they did get it from that idea, that concept, that they got it from Revelation 18 when the great millstone is thrown into the sea by the angel Joshua. So good eye, but it's from Revelation 18. It's from a different spot where they took great millstone from. So check this out now. This would be absolutely treacherous terrifying, terrible, horrible, frightening to a faithful first century Jew, not just because it's a messed up way to execute somebody, but this is a pagan, Gentile form of execution. Think about it. Jews believed in the immortality of the body because of the resurrection, which is very physical. And so Jewish burials were very important, and then there had to be a proper burial in which the physical body is properly taken care of as a way to point to the resurrection. That's why I'm not a big fan of cremation. I'm not saying it's not, you're going to go to hell. I'm just saying I don't think it properly represents in the ceremonial aspect the respect that we as Christians have for the body. So to be buried at sea would be absolutely dreadful for a Jewish person to imagine, this pagan form of execution, this Gentile form. Now, some pagans had some weird beliefs about this form of execution. They believed, some of them, that the deceased, the spirit of the deceased would hover eternally over the waters where the person died. All right? I mean, pagans were superstitious, We shouldn't be a superstitious people. You will if you watch 2 Hollywood movies, you know what I mean? But, anyways, I'm just looking at something in regards to a shipwreck and Acts. I wanted to see if there's something that fit. I don't think it necessarily does. So Jesus is saying, hey, it'd be better if that happened to you, okay? It's a big deal. That's a big deal for that to be said, okay? So take these little ones seriously, children especially, and yes, those young in the faith. Now he continues on with this. Remember, this is about discipleship, the discipleship community. Let me make the words on the screen a little bit bigger, because I know the red sometimes. There. That's a little bit bigger. I like that. Okay, won't be able to see as much on the screen, but I think it's more helpful. So here we are, Mark 9:43. Now here's where things are going to get real. I might have to circle back on this. Basically, though, let me apply the last thing this way as a final wrap up to that verse. Anyone seeking to destroy the faith of a child or a new Christian, watch out. That's no joke. And on the inverse, we should go to great lengths by God's grace to preserve the faith of a new convert or child, okay? I think this also applies to, you got college professors who delight in destroying college students' faith when they come in. You know what I mean? Not cool. Mark 9:43. And if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life crippled than with 2 hands to go to hell, to the unquenchable fire. Let's look at this. Unquenchable. Let's look at this. Unquenchable fire. Look, asbestos. You guys, you recognize that, right? 4 occurrences translate as unquenchable fire, never shall be quenched. Something that's unquenchable, usually used relating to eternal hellfire to punish the damned. It's no joke right there. It's no joke. Not able to go out. Inextinguishable. By the way, if you want to know what I'm doing in Logos right now, I'm looking at a few different, what are called lexicons. Lexicons are basically like ancient dictionaries. So I'm looking at a few to understand this word better. And the reason why this is important, I'm going to go low-nighted now. It's a little more exhaustive. The reason why these are important, everybody, is because there's a lot of people out there who deny hell now. We understand hell is not an easy doctrine, okay? We get that. But we don't want to deny something just because we wrestle with it. That's not the right way to go about this process, okay? And let's look here at Lonaida. Pertaining to a fire that cannot be put out. So this is the way the Greek word is used. And you can see it's asbestos. That's interesting. I never knew that before. To go to Gehenna, to the fire which cannot be put out, to give the example we're looking at. It may be necessary in some languages to render unquenchable by an active equivalent. For example, a fire that no one can put out. So it's saying in regards to translation, there's some ways that you may need to do it. Now, do you guys find that fascinating? Unquenchable fire. See, this is why we can't just turn hell into some kind of metaphorical thing, because this means something. Now, let me show you, for example, the Hebrew Israelites, how they commit heresy on this question of hell. They teach that hell is the thermonuclear winter that it's going to befall America when the whole world, even her allies, drop nuclear missiles on her soil. Believing Thinker says, I like NN or BDAG. Yes, BDAG is the best, but it was too extensive for me to read right now, but it is the most extensive. Lone Knight is a little quicker, but BDAG is the best overall as far as lexicons for the most part. So you got to see this. If your hand causes you sin, cut off better. So Hebrew Israelites say that's what it is. It's the thermonuclear winter as the nuclear holocaust happens and those are raging, okay? But that doesn't work, does it? You can't turn this into thermonuclear fire on American soil because it says it's an unquenchable fire. Now, they'd probably say something like, yeah, no man could put it out, but it'll go out eventually, or something weird like that. They always have these weird escape hatches they pull to try to get out of their exegetical blunders. You know what I mean? But it doesn't work. You know what I mean? And also notice Jesus is saying you should do some radical amputation. Now, this amputation is hyperbole. Hyperbole, ladies and gentlemen, is purposeful overstatement to prove a point. Intentional overstatement to prove a point. So the point is very real, but it's large, big, colorful language to prove the point. My point, though, is if Jesus is saying this takes radical separation, radical disassociation, right? It doesn't make sense then for it simply to be a situation where you're talking about, oh yeah, that's just like a temporary fire that's going to burn you up. Because guess what? If you're talking about Hebrew Israelites, they think you're going to come back reincarnated, reborn as a baby anyway, so it's not a very big deal. So they're not dealing with this text properly. And as someone mentioned in the live chat, Sahih Luke, neither do the Hebrew Israelites. They don't deal with it right either. Unquenchable fire. It's not going out. It's no joke. Now, we're going to look at something here right here, which is this word right here. Gehenna. Gehenna. It's funny, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. There's actually a suburb town. My man, Alan Auguste, who was a Haitian cat, used to rap with. He went by Transcend. Transcend lived in a city called Gehenna. My man Eric, sometimes you guys will see me hang out with him when I go back to Columbus. Eric still lives in Gehenna. Yo, man, they named the city Gehenna. It sounds just like Gehenna. You know, it's kind of bugged out. Anyways, two answers go to hell. All right, let's look at this term hell, okay? Let's look at this a little bit. We're not going to do a full deep dive on it, but I am going to look at some of my notes here. Some of these things you guys are going to already know, okay? And I'm actually going to read something here from the NIV Archaeological Study Bible that I think is helpful after I read this. So let me real quick switch over to the screen here. And I'm going to look at you guys here for a second. All right, we're looking at each other now. So when you talk about Gehenna, Jesus is speaking of in Mark 9:43, it refers to the valley of Hinnom. That is from the Old Testament, okay? And so Gehenna derives its name from the Hebrew name Valley of Hinnom. So this is a Greek word, but it derives its name from a Hebrew name called the Valley of Hinnom, which is this deep ravine south of Jerusalem. And so if you were going along it from one place to the other, you're basically on the highway to hell, right? Just like AC/DC. Now in 2 Kings 23:10, Josiah desecrated this place. Remember, Josiah was a reformer king. So he got in there and he desecrated the Valley of Gehenna. Why did he do that, though? And what happened when he did that? Well, I'll tell you those things, starting with the second one. That valley, this deep ravine south of Jerusalem, became symbolic for God's final judgment because it became an actual, literal, physical site for burning refuse. All this methane gas coming out, nonstop fires everywhere, permanent worms as this material is decomposing, including the dead decay of actual animals that were used for sacrifices, but all the parts weren't used. So there's trash, human excrement, there's dead animal carcasses getting burnt, and there's just fires non-stop. Even in today in landfills, do you know, because we got a situation, we got this highly combustible stuff, right? Where even now they got to work real careful, real careful, right? not to let that stuff catch a fire, because it's highly flammable as it degrades, right? And so when it degrades, there's methane gas that's released, and that's highly flammable. So if you get a fire, man, over there in a landfill, you're in trouble. That's part of the reason I think, that meme where people put a picture of a dumpster fire, dumpster fire. I think part of the reason is just saying it's hot trash on fire, but I think also they're saying because it's hard to put out fire when it's burning trash. You know what I mean? And so we look at all that. Now, why did the reformer King Josiah do this in 2 Kings 23:10? Here's the reason. It had become, in the Old Testament, a place where under the wicked kings Ahaz and Manasseh, 2 Kings 16:3, 21:6, Jeremiah 7:31, 32, 35, under the wicked kings Ahaz and Manasseh, right? The Ammonite god Molech was worshipped. And how was the Ammonite god Molech worshipped? By offering child sacrifices to him. He was this god with these open arms like this, and they would heat up this pit, and it would heat up the metal and be burning hot, and they would place a child right there, and they would play music. They would sing songs and dance while they were offering the sacrifice, ostensibly to drown out the screaming cries of the children as they were being burnt alive to Molech. Imagine that. This became a sight for sore eyes in a place that Jesus later on compared to hell. It became a trash dump. I didn't realize how far along we were and what time it was. I had an entry I was going to read in the NIV Archaeological Study Bible, which is a pretty good Bible. It's a little thick. It's not really the kind you could take to church. Now they've got a new one called the ESV Archaeological Study Bible, which I haven't checked out yet. But I was going to read their entry on hell, but we don't have time because of that. I think I went deep enough into that with that. So it's important. Now, this next stuff we're going to get into about this radical discipleship, you know what I mean? It's important because some Jewish thinkers back then actually even thought that believers who would one day resurrect in the exact same form that they had right before they died, and then they would be made whole. So, like if you, had an arm chopped off or something like that, that you would like come back with your arm chopped off when you're resurrected. But then what would happen is it would immediately be restored, which is an interesting idea. I'm just telling you, some Jewish thinkers of the day apparently thought that. Okay. Now, this is a big deal because the physical body is very important. And yeah, I see a lot of you guys making comparisons, okay, to Planned Parenthood. And to be honest, those are pretty much exactly right. And shout out to the Moroccans in the live chat. All right, so with that, switching back over to the text to read verse 44. But I've got a surprise for you because you hear what I just said? I said, oh, wait, let me go here to verse 44, but I've got a surprise for you, everybody. I'm setting this up on purpose, okay, before somebody thinks, oh, vocab's that dumb. I mean, sometimes I'm that dumb, but I'm not this dumb than this one. Let's go to verse 44, everybody. Here we go to verse 43. Now let's go to verse 45. Where's verse 44? There's no verse 44. This is why you need to be KJV only. They take verses out of the Bible. Now look, I got the Net Bible right here, and it has an excellent textual note apparatus where the notes are discussed very thoroughly when we have textual variants. I encourage you to get the Net Bible, NET Bible. But we don't have time to go into it. But here's a short version. The best Greek manuscripts omit 2 verses of Mark 9. Not only verse 44, but also verse 46. Now, it's okay, though. Here's why. All they do is repeat Isaiah 66:24 and Mark 9:48, which is the last verse of the book of Isaiah, by the way. Shout out to Mr. 762 for the super chat. It's okay. I feel you. It's all right. No problem on that. Now, here's what I need to say about that. Everybody. Check this out, okay? Some scribes apparently thought it needed to be doubled up, meaning This is a case where the textual variant is actually a repeat of something that's already in the text. So you're not missing anything, but the fact that the earliest and best manuscripts, okay, do not include verses 44 and 46. Remember, original Bible didn't have verse numbers, so nothing is being taken out. They had actually added stuff, and then when we found these earlier, better Greek manuscripts, we realized, oh, those were added. Let's keep them out because they don't belong. But my point is, all 944 and 946 do is repeat Mark 9:48 and Isaiah 66:24. And guess what? Mark 9:48 is already here, okay? It's already here. And so is Isaiah 66:24. It's already here. You know what I'm saying? Where is it? Let me try. Yeah, see right there. Mark 9:48 is a quotation of Isaiah 66:24. So basically, they had it appear in 44 and 46 as well. And you'll see it if you're in the KJV. So you're not getting anything different. You're just getting it 3 times. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really belong. Hey, what's up, Elizabeth? How's the taxidermy? Haha, Rocky the Raccoon. That's right. All right, so with that being said, there is no verse 44, and it's okay because you can see how the flow of the argument still goes. Go on to hands, now to feet. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life lame than with 2 feet to be thrown in hell. And if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than with 2 eyes to be thrown into hell. Now, I'm going to stop real quick here and show you, first of all, this shows the importance of radical discipleship. This shows the severity of hell itself, doesn't it? Yes, it does. It shows you the beauty and importance of what in the Greek is called the esothane estine basilon tou theou. That's the kingdom of God. To enter the kingdom of God is a full phrase that just said there. But basilion tou theou, that's the kingdom of God. That's God's realm under the blessing of his rule. Now, what could this mean? Let me show you a little bit about what this could mean. I think it's what's called I always mispronounce this, metonymy. M-E-T-O-N-Y-M-Y, I think, and the plural is M-E-T-O-N-Y-M-I-E-S. Basically, that's where one thing stands for something related to it, or for parts of the whole. So I think those body parts are doing that. But the essence, before I explain what I think these mean, is that nothing is more important than God, even things very important to humans. And that's the main point of this. I think it's hyperbole. That's the main point of this. So what could the hand represent? Theft or murder? You see what I'm saying? I think that's the kind of sin he's talking about. Foot represents going to the wrong place for the wrong reason, where you're not supposed to be, right? Eye, coveting or lust, Matthew 5:27-30. Now, I think you need to be careful because castrating yourself or going blind does not remove sin. So this cannot be the literal removal of body parts. You could be a man in a wheelchair with no legs, no arms, no hands, just a torso, a thorax, and a neck and a head, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Lieutenant Dan or something, but worse off. Lieutenant Dan. She smelled like cigarettes, Lieutenant Dan. Okay. Anyways. That does not remove sin. Because it doesn't remove the lust and the desire. It doesn't. No, it does not. Think about this. We still say stuff like this. We say it'll cost you an arm and a leg, but it's worth it. Jesus is saying that salvation costs an arm and a leg, because part of salvation is our discipleship. Not that it saves you, but someone who's saved will be a disciple. This is part of the life, right? And Jesus is about to get into this in a second here. We only got 3 verses left, but check this out. Jesus is saying it's worth it, but it costs an arm and a leg. Radical discipleship. Now, there's a rumor about an early church father who perhaps supposedly may have actually castrated himself because of the lust issue he had. That is not known for sure. I don't think it's well sourced. It's possible, and sometimes it's given as a way to say these guys took stuff super literal. Don't know about all that, but I do know that Jesus is saying it's worth it, and this is what it takes, whatever it takes. Now, all of us should be convicted by this because none of us really do this. If we did, we would sin way less. But look what it says here in verse 48. Where the worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. That is Isaiah 66:24. Let me show you. They shall go out and look on the dead bodies of the men who have rebelled against me. For their worm shall not die, their fire shall not be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrence to all flesh. Jesus is saying that's like the situation of hell. It's those who have rebelled against him. He's using that language there. All right. Now check this out. It seems to take a turn here. For everyone will be salted with fire. Yeah, Jesus Garcia, I believe it is Origin, by the way. Fred Sanford, what's the $1 million quote? I would like to hear that. For everyone will be salted with fire. So notice he's going from fire to salt, but he's mixing these metaphors, okay? Halastestetai, I believe Mark 9:49 says. Everyone will be salted with fire. Fire, almost certainly in this context, is a metaphor for difficulties and persecution. Remember, because this is about radical discipleship, the cost of discipleship, the discipling community that follows Christ. Now, in the Old Testament, salt was emblematic of permanence or loyalty to the covenant. And Jesus is going to build on that. And there is a link, ladies and gentlemen, between salt and fire that comes directly from the Old Testament. I don't want you to think Jesus is out on a limb here. Look at Leviticus 2:13, what it says here, okay? You shall season all your grain offerings with salt. You shall not let the salt of the covenant with your God be missing from your grain offering. With all your offerings you shall offer salt. So see that? Not only that, there's one other place I'm going to show you. Ezekiel 43:24. You shall present them before the Lord, and the priest shall sprinkle salt on them and offer them up as a burnt offering to the Lord. Okay? So there is a connection between the fire, because these are burnt, these offerings are getting burnt, and salt in the Old Testament. So Jesus is going on that as he discusses his issue. He just started talking about hell, and now he's talking about fire, continuing on that, but in a different way, in a way that means something different as far as keeping fire, but changing what he's talking about. He's like an MC with bars, basically, guys. I don't know. Jesus is, oh, okay, Fred. yeah, she tastes like cigarettes. Let's send it, Dan. All right, so here's why I believe we should be able to see this way, okay? I'm going to go here and show you. So let's look at this right here, okay? Okay. Everyone will be salted. I think the everyone there is all believers, because remember, the discussion here is the discipleship community. So all believers will be salted with fire. Jesus is going to pour out some persecution and suffering on you. Yeah, I think that's really what it's saying. Remember that old song? I guess it's kind of a bad metaphor because it ain't talking about wholesome stuff. But Def Leppard, pour some sugar on me, I live alive. Well, everyone's going to get salted with fire, right? Salt is good. So he's just going back and forth with these bars and these metaphors and wordplay. But what does that mean? Believers are purified in pain, suffering, hardships, persecution. This is related to the costliness of discipleship. We got to be willing, as we see from the prior verses, to give up anything and everything, including our life. Now, salt does not destroy, but it preserves, like our trials and tribulations. These are things God has meant us to go through them, not to destroy us, but even our trials can help preserve us. They help strengthen and give our faith more flavor, if we'll put that way, right? So we got problems, and they're meant for our good. Now, here in Mark 9:50, we're at the end. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how will you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Now, so they're in Israel, right? Hot climate, no refrigeration. What does salt do? Salt preserves food. Most of the salt that they had access to came from the Dead Sea. Most of it, okay? Well, that salt from the Dead Sea wasn't the best. That's, an inland sea deposit or whatever. And actually, the Dead Sea, I don't know if it's the proper way to describe it. But the problem is that it was mixed with impurities. So this impure salt is what they would have to use. And after use for a while, guess what would happen to this impure salt? The saltiness leaves it, and guess what you're left with? The impurities. Impurities like carnalite and gypsum. Can someone look those up? I don't know what those are. Carnallite. Now, I'm reading this stuff, but I don't know what those are. You know what I'm saying? GYPSUM. I'm very curious what they are. Carnalite and gypsum. Carnalite and gypsum, right? So, if this salt wasn't properly processed, it would have poor taste and be worse than useless. And actually, it becomes unusable for food and creates a disposal problem. So my point, while I'll saying all that is that Jesus is saying, hey, salt's good, man, but you know what happens when it loses saltiness? You can't make it salty again. It needs to be thrown out into the fire. Now, that's not in there, but I'm saying that's the truth. So have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Now, isn't that fascinating? Because remember how this thing starts? It starts with them not being at peace with somebody who's casting out demons, right? They're trying to stop him, it. Jesus is like, nah, man. And by the time we get back around to the end, Jesus is saying, have salt in yourself, be at peace with one another. So here, salt's a positive metaphor, right? And maybe even peace is related to that. And that's a dope way to end. That's exactly what he does. So look, if the proper conditions for discipleship aren't kept, such as renouncing all, like in Luke 14:33, disciples become less than worthless. We all have to ask ourselves, where are we at when it comes to that? Where are we at? And by the way, that's the same kind of idea in Revelation 3. Now, we don't have time to get into it, but a lot of times people go back and forth about this. This is the same idea. Revelation 3, verses 15 through 17. Now, with that, I'm going to take a look at the live chat real quick here. Always enjoy these Bible studies. You got about 100 people watching. That's beautiful. Any questions as we look over here in the live chat? I'd like to see if you guys got any questions for me, comments, you know what I mean? We're dropping a video Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Don't want to miss those. And Sunday, we are going to be going live again. I got a couple ideas for the topic. Don't worry, I'll let you know. Got a couple things in the work. And, yo, what's up, Yasher Nabala? How you doing? Yeah, I'm just taking a look here at the comments. Good people. We got great people up in the live chat. I'm telling you, man, we got the best live chat in the business, homies. I'm telling you, we do. Let's see here. Yeah, I got some great people. I'm just looking at your guys' comments real quick here. Carm, you need to get some flyers for me for Doctor for the Black, by the way. You know? Need to do it. Okay, so what do we do now? You know what we do, man. It's time to switch to the freestyle, because we got a grip of super chats, and it's time to freestyle. Let's see how these beats sound. Is this the right beat? Oh, why did it just pause on me? Let's see how. Right beat. Have I rapped to this one before? Let's see how the levels sound here. Yeah. I used that one before. I don't use one I rap before. I'm gonna switch. Yeah. I want to switch to one I that's a dope beat. Don't get me wrong. I want to shout out to my man Justin Martin for the track. Shout out to you guys for hanging in there. Begin a freestyle, yo. Ha, ha, ha. Smile. When I get old, to say I'm senile. In the meantime, it's loose, honey child. Playing around, so turn that frown upside down. Clown, but out, pound, round, and then verb in the noun, verb in the noun. Style profound, so deep you drown in the ocean. turn it up a little. I put the volume right there in the middle. I see you saying that the beat is too loud. Well, I'm a Christian man and you know I'm rather proud. Did I fix it? Gotta rip it, then I gotta flip it. Go ahead, homeboy, gotta skip it. The beat's too slow, the volume's too low. Y'all like to complain, hey, yo, what's up with y'all? I'm rhyming, double timing on. You guys really can't hear nothing? Is it really that bad, the volume? Okay, I turned it down lower. What about there? Man, you guys are some haters tonight. I tell you what, let's just switch beats. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. Everyone is. Nobody's happy. So we're gonna switch beats. Let's try this beat. I ain't rapped to this one yet. We gotta close the show out. I don't know if I can even rap to this one. If I can't, we'll just have to close the show and just leave you haters upset. I'm not rapping to that. That's not a beat I can. That ain't gonna work. Some of these beats I ain't heard yet. I can't rap to that. Let's try this one later. See if you guys can complain about this one too. Yeah, how we doing? Ooh, that's kind of dope. That's the volume right there, ladies and gentlemen. I like that one. Yeah. Now it's time to flow. Got that still beat. Got that neo soul style. Man, I wish that I could sing. But in the meantime, I'm doing my thing. What's happening? Through the front and the back. It's vocab Malone. Can you hear me on a track? When I rap, I spat. We turn it up a bit. Hey, yo, I got a rip. So don't set trip. What's up to Liza J? How you doing today? And Mr. Animal, you play the drums, okay? In the background with the fast sound. Come again, come on y'all, come live stream. And we sat down. Derek Lang, know the beat bang. Hello, how you doing? Nate doing his thing. He's like a king, I got the Kango. Vocab Malone from any angle. Hey yo, D-New, how you doing tonight? I gotta rock it right on the microphone, alright. Gotta make it kinda tight. Got 'em rocking in the house, that's Hopside. What's up? Most Def, no doubt. Give a shout out to Sonova, cause she is saying, hey, the beat is so dope, I bought it on layaway. Michelle Marie representing VA, or maybe DC MC today and every day. Ryan chilling out in East Valley. Beat's kinda dope, and now I drive to Cali. Let's have a rowdy. Let's go to Bowley's. Vocab Malone got the styling type of stowly. Howling like a wolf when I spit. Yes, indeed, got Bayman Smith with 100% leaving the emoji. Yes, indeed, now you know I got the flow. Be Christian Norman, warmer when I'm storming, getting warm. Yo, Dr. Forney, late to the form. Benjamin the Catholic, gotta convert, but it's all good, don't be a pervert. But I'm so sick, now I got to spit. What's up, Jamie Z? Definite, wanna rip, I got you the lion. Yo, representing Heavenly Zion. Carl Marquez, we call her Little C. She's chillin' in L-A-C-A-L-I-E to the beat. When I see with my spectacle, vocab alone throw you in receptacle. That means crash, so don't you dare laugh. I'm praying so much that my knees got the ash. Need some more cash for security. When I don't glasses feeling kinda blurry, turn the volume up to 10 with Ren 1010. He's in a live chat, is he man or woman? I don't really know. What's up to my bro? Mr. Phil Fox, Mr. Christmas, yo, I'll call you Santa Claus, and now I got the bars. Yes, we rock, no pause, spitting. Yo, got the beat locked down like it was a San Quentin. Yes, indeed, now I run to this place thanks to Brett, this gun. He gave me the Jeff spent with his funds. What's up, Mr. No Neutrality? 3, 2, 1. Darryl D. Danziger is in the house too. Can't forget you, sweet team and the crew. Shout out to Fred Sanford. Shout out to the live chat, even you black atheists. That's right. Shalom. Peace.